Do you struggle with addiction? I bet you do. And I'm going to explain that on this episode of Out of the Box. Welcome back to Out of the Box, the series where unconventional thinking leads to extraordinary living. I'm your host, Elizabeth Miner. I am the CEO and founder of Thrive This Day, and I'm also a life coach. And today I want to talk to you about addiction. Now, I'm not talking about substance addiction. I'm talking about your phone, your social media, your email. I'm talking about attention addiction, dopamine addiction. You see, all of these things have been created, yes, to help you be more productive, to help you advertise more, to get more exposure for your company. They have got some great benefits to them. But as with everything, if used in moderation. Now here's what I want to tell you about. There's a study that was done with rats, and they had these rats and they would give them a treat in a maze. It was 2 control groups. For one of the control groups, they would place a pellet of rat food, something that the rat craved. And when he or she found it, they got a hit of dopamine. They searched, they found something, and they received a reward. And it triggered that space in the brain. The other control group of rats, what they did was they kept the location the same, but they changed the time. It could be every 2 minutes that a new pellet of rat food was there, or it could be once an hour, or it could be not only once during the day and it was long after it had normally happened, right? And then there was the control group where they changed the location of the rat pellet and they changed the timing. Now, what the studies showed was that when they changed either the location or the consistency of timing on when the reward, which then triggered this dopamine hit, would come, the rats would spend all day searching for it or waiting for it. When they knew where their location was, they wouldn't go about their rat day. They would just sit there waiting for it, not knowing when it was coming. And for those where it was bouncing around, they would spend their entire day searching for that reward, that dopamine hit. And here's where it ties into us. You knew I was going to get there eventually, right? It ties into us with social media. You put up a post and you think it's going to be great. Everybody's going to receive it, fantastic. And then 5 minutes later you go back to see, did anybody like it? Or you have your notifications set and you hear a ding and you go to your phone. Hey, was that a like for the post? Or was that an email? Or you send out an email and you really need the answer to this, but the person wasn't available by phone, so you sent an email or a text. And you're continually hitting refresh, right? I know you have done this. I have done this, right? We have done this. We're searching for that dopamine hit, whether it's a response to our email, whether it's a like or a comment, or whether it's going viral or something. It's that acknowledgement that triggers the dopamine in our brain. So what's happening is we're interrupting our thought patterns. We're sending ourselves rat crazy looking for that dopamine hit. And here's how to change that. Here's how to stop that. Be that first control group. Make a schedule when you will check your email. Make a schedule when you will check your social media. I'm not going to say don't do these things because that's unrealistic and it goes against what you may need to do for your business. I get it. I use email all the time. It's very important to me as well. So I'm not going to tell you don't use these things. What I am going to tell you is if you schedule it, you then free up your mind. And by the way, shut off those notifications. Please, you know I don't want you listening to those notification bells. But this means you will focus on that during that time block. But the rest of the time, you know where it's going to be. You know when you're going to go get it. And the rest of the time, you can focus on the other things that are really important to you. This is going to raise your productivity, raise your concentration, and probably make you more efficient when you do go into those social media feeds or your email or those things. So that's it. Cut the cords, fix your addiction, go cold turkey, and set yourself a schedule. Stop going every time it pings or it dings or it buzzes. Do not do that anymore. Promise me that you're going to set yourself a schedule and go to these activities when you decide. And that way, all the other time, you can be really focused and do some really great work, get more productivity out of your day, and get more enjoyment out of those dopamine hits that you get when you go to those other things. So if you know somebody who needs this exact message, please do forward this video along and suggest they subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when these are coming out, and that's every week, they'll be sitting in their email for that time that they've scheduled to check their emails. So that's what I have for you today, and I'll be back next week with more unconventional thinking for your extraordinary living. Until then, ciao.